Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is revealing the Clippers' current number one weakness that they need to address. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also be on the lookout for our Dreamerspro Premium community that we're launching this week, which is really important for you guys that like to interact with us and interact during games and have a lot of discussions. Be on the lookout for that. It's coming out this week. You don't want to miss that. And after that, we'll also launch our website after that. So be on the lookout for all of those things. Let me get into this topic here. We got a lot that I want to cover today on the channel, a lot of things that I need to get off my chest and a lot of things for us to discuss. So let's talk about the Clippers here. They played a very important game last night. We have a series of videos coming out today, so it all depends on when you guys are seeing these videos. You may see this one and say, but what about this? We may address it in another episode on the show that we're publishing. So just be on the lookout for what we're dropping today. Anyway, we all know that the Clippers got off to a very good start this season. They beat some key teams early in the season with the Lakers, Nuggets, especially on opening week. But they also beat the Warriors. They lost to the Warriors as well, but they beat the Blazers, Pacers, and other teams. They played at least 8 above 500 teams, depending on when they played them at that time. In the season, right? They have one of the top ranked offenses in the NBA. They lead in the league in 3-point shooting. They were making a lot of threes. A lot of their guys on the team are shooting well above 40% from the three. I think they have about 6 players shooting above 40%. Luke Kennard, Marcus Morris, Kawhi Leonard, Patrick Beverley, Paul George, and Nicholas Batum, right? So they have 6 guys that are shooting above shooting above 40% from the 3-point line. Is one of the reasons I think they're leading the league in the percentages as far as 3-point shooting. So they've been having a sensational season as far as their shooting is concerned. Their ball movement has been out of this world. I think this comes with the coaching philosophy of Tyronn Lue and his assistant coaches. They put in an offense that allows is an equal opportunity offense, right? If you watched the game last night with the Brooklyn Nets, there was one possession with the shot clock winding down where every single Clipper touched that ball in that 24 seconds series, and that's in 24-second round. Everybody touched the ball, and in the last second, it went to Kawhi Leonard, and he hit that 3 as the shot clock was expiring. So their offense is predicated on ball movement and player movement. They also have implemented different sets of the triangle with Kawhi Leonard posting Kawhi a lot. You see they post Kawhi a lot, which is very, very good. Number one, when you post players, it slows down the tempo of the game. It can slow teams down, get teams into foul trouble, also force teams to defend in the half court. And also, if you have shots going at the basket closer to the rim, it's going to kind of eliminate these long rebounds that can kind of lead to transition points for the opposing team. So the Clippers have been doing well offensively. If you look at their 2 stars, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Leonard, if I look at his stats here, if I'm able to pull him up, Kawhi Leonard is having a great season. He's averaging over 26.3 points per game. He's having a 50-40-90. Well, his 3-point percentage dropped last night to 39.8, but he's essentially having a 50-40-90 season. Last night, I think he had made something like 46 free throws in a row before he missed one. Paul George, on the other hand, is also having a 50-40-90 season. He's scoring about 24 points per game, 50% from the field, over 40% from the 3 and over 90% from the free throw line, both of these guys. So they're doing very well on the offensive side of the ball, right? The offense is clicking, and these guys are doing very well. You can see that they had some key pickups in Nicholas Batum and Serge Ibaka, who have, Nicholas Batum has just been, you can't say enough about the guy. Very smart guy, plays defense, 3-and-D guy, can hit the 3 at a very high clip. As I said, he's shooting over 40% from the 3-point line this season, but he's a great defender, great playmaker, a glue guy, and you can see he's the type of person the Clippers really needed. Serge Ibaka brings them a good shot blocker at the rim, something they did not have last season, at least consistently. Also a 5 that can stretch the floor and hit the 3, which allows for dribble penetration for a lot of their guards. and for a lot of their guards and their forwards, playmaking forwards. And this is the reason why you see defenses getting punctured a lot with their dribble and drive, because they're able to get into the teeth of the defense. If you had Serge, who was anchored in the paint, that cannot step out and provide some spacing, it would be a little bit difficult for them to penetrate the defense and get some driving kicks, swing the ball around the court to the weak side, get hit open shooters, hit them for threes, you know. And a lot of the threes that these guys have been getting this season have been wide open threes, and that's from the playmaking of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. But I think if you have a big in the paint that just kind of clogs up everything, it'll be very difficult to do that. Now, let's get to the number one weakness that I've been talking about, and that's defense. The Clippers are a great offensive team. I just explained all of that. I've just given you the reasons why that's true, right? There's also hard data to support that. One of the highest scoring teams in the NBA. They're a great offensive team. However, defense is where I have my concerns. I've been saying it for about 2 weeks now. For those of you guys who follow our content and follow our channel, y'all know I've been saying that the Clippers need to improve their defense. I started off with their opponent's PPG. It was too high. At one point in the season, they were giving up close to 109. They brought that number down to about 105 or so, 104 or so. You know, with the exception of last night when they played against the Brooklyn Nets, who were able to put up 124 points on the board. But that was just due to their big three scoring 90 points in one game. What can you do with guys that are scoring 90 points? 3 guys scoring 90 points in a game. It's going to be tough to beat. One of them scored 39. Another one, I think, scored 28. And the other one scored 23. Just cartoonish type production on the offensive side of the ball. But defense is where the Clippers need to hang their hat. Because at certain points in the game, you're not going to make shots. You're not going to be able to make shots for an entire 48 minutes straight. And sometimes, Clippers have been beating teams by a good margin. But when you play against good teams that have great offensive players, you need to be able to know that you can rely on your defense to string together multiple stops. They were able to do that last night in the fourth quarter, although they gave up a run because the Brooklyn Nets had amazing shot makers, but they were able to get back in that game playing some great defense. So the Clippers have the ability to play defense. They need to improve on it. Another thing is the fact that they're missing Patrick Beverley. You're now seeing the value of Patrick Beverley, the value that this guy can defend multiple positions for his size. He's a great on the ball defender, not just from a X's and O's standpoint, but also from an energy standpoint. He plays this kind of infectious defense that can infect other guys and get guys riled up and get guys to be able to compete on the defensive side of the ball with the way he competes. That type of energy is contagious defense, rather. They need him. Defense is going to be the key. Defense is the key for this team. If they were to meet the Nets in the playoffs, the Nets have too many great individual scores. The Clippers need to be able to defend these guys at a high level. The concentration on the defensive side of the ball needs to be there, right? They need to play defense at a higher level. The Lakers have done that, but the Clippers have a unique situation because I think they have the best combination of perimeter defenders in the NBA. The other teams have Ben Simmons and Drew Holiday and others, but these guys have Patrick Beverley, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. So these guys are spearheading their defense, and they're the ones that really create that wall. Reggie Jackson is not the guy. Reggie Jackson can get beat very easily on the defensive side of the floor. But if you have Patrick Beverley, who can fight over screens, stay in front of defenders, really pester them, move his feet pretty well, can play angles very quickly, although sometimes he can get a little bit overzealous and foul. If you replace him with a Patrick Beverley, who's also a knockdown three-point shooter, who can keep defenses honest and stretch the floor, and is also a clutch three-point shooter, very confident three-point shooter, then you give yourself a shot because Paul George and Kawhi Leonard can do their thing. You have Serge anchoring the paint, and then they can now play around with Nicholas Batum or Marcus Morris Sr., whatever it is. But that point guard spot, if you get beat easily at the point guard position, then you're going to put a lot of your other teammates in jeopardy on the defensive side of the floor. And that's what you saw last night. So for me, I think defense is the number one weakness, but it's something that's solvable. Number one, continue to improve on your defense. Keep playing great defense, building the defensive habits, and try to get Patrick Beverley back. He's needed for this team, right? He's needed. So for me, that's what I think the number one weakness is. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you agree that defense is the number one weakness, or do you think it's some other thing? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the next video that we have coming up. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.